Hey bosses, it's Nina. So I'm getting ready to do this long overdue video, which is all about Office 365. And so for those of you that don't know, there's Office 2016 and then there's Office 365. We'll talk about the difference in just a second. But this question or this video came up because I just released a new overview video of Teams and also let people know that Teams, Microsoft Teams, has a new free version. And so people started getting into the discussion of OneNote and how to synchronize it and what it is and what's the difference between Office 365 and Office 2016. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Now, this is not a formatted training. What I'm doing is I literally just got the question and I'm just going to go with the flow. I teach Office 365. I teach Microsoft Teams consistently. It's two of my favorite things, and actually OneNote as well. So if you have any other questions about anything Microsoft, how to use it, how to dive in, the difference between OneDrive and Groups and SharePoint and Yammer and Teams and all of that, leave your questions below and I'll try to do more Microsoft-based training for you. Okay, so let's actually start. The first question is, what is the difference between Office 365 and Office 2016? Now, Office 2016, let's start there. Okay, Office 2016 are the your applications on your desktop. Word, Excel, usually things that you use from day to day, right? And it used to be where you had to go and purchase Office 2016, let's say for $99, and you have the newest version of Office, right, on your desktop and you can access it. So Microsoft has moved into providing those applications anywhere you are. So it's the cloud. Everybody always talks about the cloud, right? And so instead of just accessing it when I'm at work or when I'm at home on my computer, now in Office 365, I can access Word and Excel and PowerPoint, OneNote, even my Outlook, all online. So it puts in the cloud where I can download the apps, right? I can also access it from any computer by just going to office.com and logging in with, if you're in a corporation, your network login and password. If you're in another organization, it would be whatever that organizational email is. If you have this from home and you created your own, so whatever you create your email address with, right? So it's your network login and password. And so you're used to using Word and Excel and PowerPoint and all of those things. And going back to the differences, when I was only on my computer, usually you purchase it once. Next year, you might have to purchase the next version and certain updates. Office 365 is in the cloud. You can access it anywhere, but it's also now a SaaS app, software as a service. So what that means is I pay monthly, right, per user. And let's just say it's just me. So if I pay monthly, and as long as I'm paying, I have access to all of these applications. If I stop paying, I don't have access. Now, what's the benefit in that? The benefit is that you get all of these applications and all of the updates, and not just your Word and Excel and PowerPoint, but if you go to your application launcher in your top left-hand corner and you go down to all apps, Microsoft has included all of these additional options like Delve. You probably don't have Dynamics unless you need that as a CRM, but Flow, creating forms, OneDrive, which is kind of the center of the universe of Office 365, Planner for project management. I mean, there's tons of different apps that you get free of charge in addition to your normal applications, right? And I have some custom ones down there as well. All right, the next benefit of that is you can access it anywhere. So I can go to my mom's house and say, hey, I didn't bring my laptop, but I need to get some work done. Let me just log in. I go to office.com and just log in with my network password. Or I have a tablet or a phone and I could log in and access everything from anywhere. Now, in order to do that, you have to save everything to OneDrive. And we'll get into that in just a second. But one of the things I want to bring up for those of you that are purchasing this on your own or you're a small business owner, you can install Office applications. That means your desktop Office 2016 desktop applications on up to 5 devices. And this is from most licenses. When I tell you Microsoft has like a million different licenses, but for the most one, if you're like E3, E5, those kind of things, which E like enterprise, once you install it, you can install it into up to 5 devices. So my phone, my tablet, my mom's computer, my computer, and you just log in to let Microsoft know that you have access to that. That's a whole different training, and we can get into that separately, but I do want to show you that as we're navigating through here, if you go to install Office, I'm just going to go to other install options. So if you're not the admin, you don't control what's available here, but what's going to happen is you have these set of default applications that you can install on your desktop, right? In addition, you can install Skype, and you may have other tools and other kind of application. Notice I have project, all of these other items here, and that's how you install it. So no more calling IT and asking them for specific access to specific software. They do all of that in the background, and now you're in control of it. So let's move into the actual overview. I don't want to get back into the technical and releasing and all of that kind of stuff. We can talk about that separately or ask your questions below, right? Separate note is we're going to concentrate on overall Office 365. If you want to know the difference between or the best time to use OneDrive versus Groups versus Teams versus Yammer versus whatever, leave me a comment below with all of your questions and I'll be happy to answer those. I have some use cases that work well to help you and your users decide when to use each. Okay, let's go. So I already told you about the application launcher and all of the additional apps. Here on your home page, you'll be able to see some of your most frequently used apps. You also have your recent documents. These are all from OneDrive and other applications that you use. Pinned, shared with me, and discover. We're going to go through these a little bit later if we have some time. I just want to make sure this is not too long. I'm going to start out with explaining the whole premise or kind of the center of Office 365. Now, if I go to OneDrive, this is where you should be saving all of your documents. I'll do a separate training on that if you'd like. You can ask me below, but I'm just going to go through this really quickly. Now, in OneDrive, as long as you save your documents here, you can access it from your phone, from other computers, online. I can even start documents online. So I can say new Word document. What I love about starting them online is that it saves as soon as I type something. So I can say typing. Right? And at the top, you'll see it saying saving and then save. Okay? If I want to change the name, I just double click and change the name. Now, I can do what's called co-authoring. So what that means is if I click on share, I can invite other people, either internally or externally, to share editing the document. Again, this is going a little bit more into OneDrive, but just the goal of this is to show you that I can invite someone in this document, and as soon as they jump in, they can type, I can type at the same time, and we can edit documents at the same time. What that does is instead of me sending you a version, or let's be real, you're going to send 10 people a document and ask them for their input. They all send it back to you. You copy and paste, and you may have missed some things. You send it out and you tell everybody this is the final version, and then 3 more people have more changes, and then you say this is the final version, and it gets to the point where you don't know which version is the most recent, and you don't know who has additional feedback and things like that. So doing it this way allows you to all edit the document at the same time, or even if you're not in it at the same time, it allows people to add their changes directly to the document, so there's only one single source of truth. Now, I'm not going to go totally into this, but if I click on edit in Word, I can pop this out and I can actually edit in my desktop version of Word. There's also different options where you can save and create documents for OneDrive, all in Word. Again, separate training, but just know it's all connected, okay? Anytime I create a new document, I can actually go back here and use my navigation. I just want to show you a couple of additional features. If I upload documents, that means it's still on my desktop and I'm uploading a copy of it. Now, if I synchronize, it's actually creating a sync to a folder on my desktop. Now, when you synchronize your documents, that means you don't have multiple versions. I would suggest to anyone that you go ahead and synchronize, and then it's kind of like having your My Documents, but it's in the cloud, right? So you can actually synchronize it. So again, you're working from your desktop, but everything's going to the cloud. Okay, any questions about that, leave that below. Now, Flow is a new application. If you use anything like If This Then That, this is the business version, and it's a lot more robust. Also kind of combined with Zapier and some of these other automated integration tools. Definitely a great tool. Again, if you want more details on that, let me know. On your right-hand side, you'll see that this is how I view items, right? And I don't have a good example of this, so let me upload a document for you so I can show exactly what I want to show you. Okay, so I'm uploading files here, and what I want to show you is when you are in this view, or actually you don't have to be in this view, but in this view you can see an actual image of your PowerPoints, your graphics, things like that. But what I like, and I'm going to change it back to list view so you can see that it happens in both views. When I click to the left of the document and I click on Info, I can actually scroll through PowerPoint presentations, PDFs. I can have a preview before I even open the document to make sure it's the right document. This is also where I have all the information from the document. So if I've shared it with people, I can manage my access and stop giving them access here. I can give them view only access. You can go through here and kind of play around with what you need, right? And down here, you'll see the different versions of the document. So let me do something for you. First of all documents that you upload to OneDrive are private until you share them, right? These are my new documents. I know because I have these two icons. I'm going to click to the left, and I'm actually going to share this with someone outside of my business. And actually, I'm trying to see, I don't think I have any, I don't think I have anybody in this tenant or this instance. So I'm going to try to share it with my other self and see if this allows me to do what I'm trying to do. Again, I didn't prep for this. This was just a last minute training I decided to do. No, I think that okay, so let's try to grant access to someone else. And then I'm going to right click and refresh or reload. Not sure if it worked. There it is. So I shared it with the external person, someone not in this business, but you can see, or this organization, you'll see that it's shared, right? So the document is shared with someone. You can clearly see that even though this is my OneDrive, right? Kind of like your My Documents, but in the cloud. Anytime you share something, you can share directly from here. You can see all of their edits. They'll get an email and they can actually edit that document. If I want to change that, I can click on Shared. And notice here, I can then change to view only, stop sharing, etc. Okay, so you always have those the access rights. I'm going to make a couple of changes to this document one more time, and I want to show you what I call versioning. And not what I call, it's actually what it's called. I'm going to go ahead and go back here. Now, I'm going to click to the left of it. Keep in mind that anywhere you click is going to give you a different menu. So if you can't find what you're looking for, make sure you're clicked in the right place. Notice if I click to the left or if I click on this drop down or the ellipses here, you'll see that it's the same items as the top. So depending on how you work, you can kind of use your navigation that way. What I want to show you is a couple of different options. One, I can share from up here, copy the link to the document, a lot of the normal things that you're used to with documents. But if you click on version history, all of the changes I'm making are saved there. So that means for the people that I know that are looking at this, like someone's going to mess up my document, I'm going to have to redo it. Oh my goodness, this is not amazing. It actually is, because you can always go back to previous versions, open it, or even restore it. And what I love about this is even though it's restoring a new version, it does keep the one that had the changes and just creates a copy of it. So you, as the owner, are in total control of this. They are not able to do this. You're able to do this as the owner. All right. I showed you how to share documents. On your left-hand side, if you go to shared, you can see the documents that are shared with you as well as the documents that are shared by you. So if you share documents with other people, you can always come in here to see if you've shared it and also stop sharing. Why is this important? Because sometimes you share documents and then years later you're trying to find out where it is, what email it was, trying to find the document, who shared it with you. This is a quick and easy way to see documents you've shared or that were shared with you. Another thing that is great about Office 365 is everything is searchable, so you can always search through here. Again, I don't want to search this because I do have real information in here. It's kind of old, but I do have real information. So anyways, I'm going to move on to a couple other features of Office 365, but I want you to understand that your biggest asset in this is to save all of your documents to OneDrive. My suggestion for you, or my call to action, you know, I always have a call to action. One, you can either upload all of your documents, right? The issue with that is you'll have it on your desktop as well as in the cloud, and you still have two versions, right? But what I would suggest is go ahead and click on synchronize, and then you sync all of your documents. Again, if you want a full tutorial on that, let me know. Let's go back to the home. So at the top here, I'm going to click on Learn It Online. This is my logo. It's not the right size. Yours will say Office 365. And actually, this is something that I need to correct. So you shouldn't have that issue. You can use this to navigate. You can also start out in Word. You can start out in Excel, right? I'm just going to go to Word so you can kind of see that. Word Online, and it gives you different options, different templates, okay? No matter where you are, you should have some items in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to show you a couple of features. At the top right, this is going to be similar to your Outlook pop-ups, your reminders, your calendar items, new messages, new emails. To the right of that is your settings. What I love about this is you can change the colors. Obviously, mine is black, right? And change the theme. But your start page, remember we started with your Office 365 homepage, right? But if you're a person that knows you're going to go to OneDrive, or you're always going to SharePoint, or you're using Outlook or your calendar, whatever it is, you can create your start page. That means when you log into office.com, it will go directly to that page. This is also where you change your password. Keep in mind that if it's connected to a network, this is changing your network password. Also, some of your other settings you'll start seeing once your company moves over to Exchange. So it's a techie back end version of Outlook. I'm going to say that. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's the back end or the tech part of Outlook. So it's a newer version. You'll start seeing is you'll be on your desktop making changes to Outlook, and it will automatically jump you to Mail online to make those changes. The reason that is because it's actually connected. So some of your settings online is going to be the same as your settings on your desktop. Okay, so play around with those settings. You'll start seeing a lot of other items here. You may not have all of these options. Your administrator or your tech guy, right? The tech guy at the top, your administrator is going to have access to turn on and off certain things, right? The next thing that I absolutely love, for those of you that are like, I'm not techie, I don't know how to navigate in this, I don't know what this is, how to find stuff, just use this question mark. So for instance, if I want to set my out of office, which is called something else now, I don't have to look for where it is in the system. I could simply type out of office, and notice that it says action. So it's not going to tell me step by step how to do it like help. I'm actually going to go to my automatic replies, and it's automatically going to set it up for you. Now, I don't know if this is going to jump to this. I use this environment to play around and test a lot of the admin settings, so I mess up a lot in here. This is my partner thing. So it says, hold on. I actually had to pause it for a little bit. I'm signed into 2 different Office accounts right now, and I didn't know that. So I'm going to skip that. But basically what it will do is it will take you to this action, and you can actually set your out of office. The other thing that works well, and this is one of my favorite features, you can either get to it by clicking on my profile, or you can go to the start menu and go to Delve. That is like your entire universe in Office 365. Okay, so I clicked on my profile. Again, if I go to my start menu and click on, where is it at? Delve here, it will take me directly to this area. So what this does is Anywhere you've saved a document or you have any documents, it will bring it all into one area. So if you got an email attachment, if you have documents on SharePoint, Yammer, Teams, groups, your OneDrive, someone else shared a OneDrive, this basically puts everything in one area. So you don't have to figure out where you saved it, right? Or how it was shared. This is kind of like your search engine. So if you were to go to like Bing or something like that. In addition to that, you can search for people. These are people that were in my program, or actually are in my program, that we used to use Microsoft, okay? And so how this applies to the way you work is you are able to see people you work with frequently. And if I click here, you'll see documents that they're working on that you have access to. Very important. If they've shared documents with you, I can see all of the documents Jewel has shared with me, emailed me, sent a link, all of that kind of stuff. In addition to this, you can see all of your own documents. You can search for people. You can create blogs. There's a lot that you can do in here. Again, this is a totally separate class, but if you are using Office 365, I would suggest that you go and explore Delve, all right? So at this point, I can get into a lot of different things with Office 365, but I think this is a great place to stop and really ask you, what questions do you have about Office 365, about anything that I've taught you today, about groups, teams, OneNote, synchronizing, anything like that. Leave them below and give me some ideas for courses or tutorials or whatever I decide to do, tweets, tips, blogs, involving Microsoft. I know I don't do it a lot because a lot of my training for my followers on social media are geared towards small businesses who are using other tools, and it's all about marketing. But to just as an FYI for all of you, I train Microsoft and productivity and a lot of the either small business, mid-sized business, or corporate apps, probably more than I train social media and marketing. And it's just not something that I really cross over on my YouTube channel too much. But if you want more of this, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much. Make sure and watch some of these other videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.